Hello and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 3 and the Japan campaign. And where we left off, we'd finished off China, and well, we are a little bit in advance of that because I wanted to wait until I could declare war again on Yuan and Xaibizanmar, and guess what? We're going to get into that today. So yeah, we're going to make a move on them both. Right now, they've really just kind of settled into a relatively stagnant front line over here. So the Chinese government has built a lot of divisions, to be fair, which is, you know, very good, very helpful. But we've got a little bit more work to be doing. So, yeah, here we go. The other thing I've been doing as well is I've been assessing our military, and kind of getting our new holdings all garrisoned up. So we've got all of kind of China and Korea, as you can see from this, also being garrisoned up at the moment, and I've built a slightly more garrison-related cavalry unit, which, in the event that they were, you know, attacked by something slightly more difficult, they do have AA and anti-tank, so they might be able to do something against an armoured unit, but I wouldn't expect them to do a great deal. But yeah, we've got them positioned all across China now, so that's really good. But yeah, we're going to launch this attack on Yuan. So we're going to declare war on them. And we're going to conquer on them as well. So yeah, both of those working in our favour. Don't think we need a medium fleet, but you know what? Some extra auxiliary ships and things might not be the worst thing in the world. Yeah, we'll just take what we can there. And then we will do the home front event because it's great to get the manpower. So 100 manpower, some more officers. We lose a little bit more money, but that's okay. And we gain a bit of dissent, which isn't so good, but that's okay. And we lose a little bit of revolt risk, so all good. And yeah, put a little bit more into officers. In fact, rather than that, let's put a little bit more into consumer goods. We've also got green across the board on all resources at the moment, so that is a really big help. And yeah, let's start pushing with all of these units. They're all pretty combat like ready, to be honest with you. Including that terribly slow railway unit. And I'm not expecting that they're going to have a particularly good day here with all of this. I think this is going to be one hell of a struggle. Okay, and then, yeah, that's kicked off some battles. And yeah, this should be the end of the kind of Middle East push that we have on at the moment. And then, now that we're at war, we probably want to realign, yeah, towards the Germans and make sure that we can get into their faction. We did say no to them a couple of times, so right, we've lost the effects of neutrality. And we're going to have a little bit of a requirement to build up for a while, but yeah, I'm not really concerned by that. And yeah, we should probably go over to change our laws. So we probably want to do... So we can't do heavy industry emphasis. And we need unity at least 80 for that one, so we need to work on that a little bit. But if we were to go over to war economy, that would at least help. Gain us a little bit extra. And I want a very quick war here. And, oh... Good, some more techs finishing up. You know what, we'll leave that off for now. Nice carrier bulkheads. Okay, and a good victory there. Right, and then we can take all of those forwards like that. And then we'll just want to close the gap off effectively. Don't let them work with each other. Okay, and yeah, let's get all of those ships out of the production as well. And yeah, those slightly longer range auxiliary vessels are quite helpful, to be honest with you. These ones are a little bit slower. They're a little bit more of a liability, but they do have landing facility, so they're better than some. So yeah, up to 18. They're not great, but you know, they're something. Okay, and we just want to keep this push going. That single cavalry unit is causing us some problems. Right, carrier bulkhead. We've already got like most of this to the level that we need it to be at. We're starting to catch up tech-wise. You know, motorization of cabs actually going to be quite helpful for us, to be honest with you, because it'll speed up our units and put a bit of toughness in them. So if they are going to be used at any point for a little bit of frontline support, that's the kind of thing that would help allow it. And yeah, let's get rid of that little bit of descent. Okay, and we were able to help them push forwards here. Right, so no money for fuel, please. No. Don't want to declare war on Tibet. And yep, seeing 37 fall off a day there, so that's good. And then yeah, we'll move those infantry like that. So yeah, I don't have them all set up in nice and neat command setups at the moment. I'm purely just trying to get this done quickly and give my leaders a little bit more experience. We need to set up a better kind of organizational chart relatively soon. Okay, and hopefully we'll be drifting over to the Axis pretty quickly soon. Okay, and we're not suffering that many losses. Victory point wise, yeah, it's these two here, so on this one, and then for you it's all the way over here at what was that, Golmud. Golmud, yes. Sounds like a very pleasant place. I'm sure it's a pleasant place to live. Okay, and then let's switch our emphasis a little bit, just because we've got the spare industrial capacity at the moment, so we can start getting our units and things all organized. Okay, and this might be a little bit slow going, to be fair. The terrain is going to be kind of poor. Okay, and I can see we're removing 24 a day. If I was to take this out, it'll still be 13 a day. So yeah, let's get some more convoys just briefly. because they're quite quick, and I would love us to be over 1,000, to be honest with you, in 39. We need enough convoys to support our military. Because the Allies will start to sink a metric shit ton of them relatively soon. Okay, and that's nearly a full production queue, so happy days. We do have some more filling out units for these militia here, so these ones are all like full now, but we need to fill out these remaining 8 also as well, so we'll have about 18 units of militia that I'm planning to yeah, we'll do that. I'm planning to use them a little bit to kind of be up here as the first line of defense against the Soviets. You know, somewhat dependent on like where they're needed effectively, but at least here, 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 and then I know that there's pretty much a full, you know, in Nanjing. So yeah, we want to try and position some units up there so that we've got a little bit of cover against possible incursions by the Soviets. Okay, and there's the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact. And we've got a little bit longer to go before we can join the Axis and get some of the bonuses that that will bring. And yeah, we'll do carrier medium anti-air, sure thing. We'll do engineer unit training as well, because whilst we've got armored engineers, and that's really good, if we can get some of these going, that would be very helpful. And we could also do officer recruitment program, to be honest with you. That might also be a worthwhile endeavour. And there we go, we're doing full production now, so happy days. And we are closing in on the capital of Kunming. And Xingyi is about to fall, so yeah, we've got a few places that we're doing well at. And progress is coming along up there in the north. And then yeah, we'll move you around like that. And no, don't want to do that trade. Thank you very much. And I like a green across the board. Green across the board is bloody ideal. In fact, if we had 999 on crude, that would make me remarkably happy. Right, gun position, twin engines, yeah, that's fine. Let's do the motorization of cav. Like I said, I think that's got actually a little bit of benefit for us because we are going to have some cav units. And then there's a victory up there. This was stalemated forever if we hadn't got involved. There we go, that's nicely organized. We're not getting that much by the way of rares. I mean, Italy is a friend, so in principle, so we will maybe get that involved a little bit. Right, so twin engine, gun engine ability. Yeah, we don't need to be doing that immediately. Yeah, let's do the officer recruitment program, because I do think that getting some more officers would be pretty worthwhile, to be honest with you. Right, and then let's take them immediately forwards. And around like that. And then, yeah, you're trying to move on that one there, so that's it. Dali. Now we need to make sure we don't overrun our production, or sorry, our supply lines. Okay, armor piercing capped. So another useful tech. We'll get defensive position designs, and then we can go on to, yeah, there's a few artillery techs and things to get here that we need. Done pretty well on our armored stuff. I want to get machine gun focused battalions, so being in the Axis that's worthwhile just for that one single tech. Same thing with dual purpose AA actually as well. Okay. We're at 5% IC efficiency. I would rather it was a little bit higher. But we'll take a little bit out of production. Just for those convoys. And yeah, we've got some more CAGs coming pretty soon. So for all of these ships, but we're probably going to need to build some more for the other light carriers that we had come live. This. Okay, and we're all diverging on the capital there. And we've got a similar thing with these garrisons here. There isn't really a good air base locally available. If we were to take you and you, and maybe position you there, and maybe for the lights, if we were to position you over here, or actually, yeah, this one might be better. Probably very similar kind of ranges, really. They should help turn the tide. So yeah, we can do ground attack there with them. And we can do ground attack there with them as well. Let's go. There you go, the bombing will turn the tide of that battle. Get you involved there. Okay, and I think we're expecting a war declaration by Germany any day now. So that shouldn't take too long. There you go, our forces are starting to get committed now. Doing a breakthrough and an advanced assault. Okay, so some extra stuff coming here, that's fine. So, Yuzu Haraga's new designs, yep, always worth getting a little bit of extra. So we've got an extra unit there, let's do low yield on that one. Actually will take the fuel. And I will pay the navy. And that cavalry unit is starting to drop off. Although Belovsky looks like a very supremely Russian sounding name. Unacceptable. So energy for supply, for money, yeah. I don't need to do the supply one, but I will take the extra metal, even though we're green across both of them, but we're not green by much. I do actually think that that's a worthwhile thing to do, to be honest with you. Alright, they are breaking already. So, there's the declaration of war. And there's the allies forming. And sure, Britain, we'll do that trade. And you know what? The Dutch will do that as well. If you want to give me large amounts of cash to buy weapons, then by all means. So there's the Autumn Mud event. Hedgehog defense. So, and you know what? I will do the guard events. Just because we're pulling a little bit out of our hat there for that. And how goes our aligning towards Germany? Very slowly. But we're getting there. And I probably let us drift a little bit too far away, to be honest with you. I should have been aligning manually, but we were aligning with them for so long that I just didn't think about it, to be honest with you. Okay, so Yamashita is aiding in this attack here. Okay, and yeah, we'll want to be bringing them over relatively soon. Yeah, so I can see the guards there. And yet more production out, but that's fine because we are doing it to gain a pretty substantial amount of cash from the Allies. And yeah, we are still trading for a little bit So still worth doing that trade up at the moment. Okay, there's a victory at Kunming. Have to be very careful of how you pronounce that. Take you like that and start reclaiming some of our lands from Zanmar. Okay, then there's a victory at Tianjin. So I think we did make it previously near to their capital, so should be able to quite easily do that once again. So Italy's declared it has 8 million bayonets ready to defend itself. Isn't that very loud and bombastic on many levels? Okay, HE ammunition advance. I think that's on the cruiser side. Yeah. And Hedgehog, we'll take that off. So doing the 39s we want to do there. Let's do both of the artillery speed up ones. They help. Oh, and Denmark is mobilizing. Aha! So the last of these lovely units. So let's transport them over to there. And then we can feed them into this militia, and then this can form the nucleus of our defensive forces in Manchuria. And they're at war with Poland, so they're not far off. And no, I don't need this expeditionary army group. We've got that organized already. China is near enough defeated. And then we'll use you to ground attack there and do a little bit more work. And yeah, there's AP ammunition. Capital ship medium, yeah. Do both of these artillery techs. Still playing catch up. The amount of officers we had to pour into the war has definitely drained us a little bit. Okay, and the bombing is working out. So we will sign the ceasefire. And then we'll move both of you that way. You can help finish up that, although I think this, to be honest with you, is already working out. So the Hungarians just entered the Axis. And then yeah, we'll move them this way just to do a little bit extra kind of support on the flank. very slow going terrain. Not helped by the fact that our units are going supremely slowly to support. But looks like the warrior division under Ishida Morihide, Morihide probably, is doing very well. And there we go. That is landing craft flotillas. So that is something that we definitely want to be getting on top of. In fact, we're going to let that ride and then do this because we need to start building some landing craft, I would say, relatively soon. Need to think about how we'll quickly defeat the Philippines and some of the other nations in and around here. And who will puppet, etc. And these garrison units are beginning to crumble now. A combination of air power with mechanized breakthrough. Even though you're not a mechanized division. Interesting. Is working out. Right, acoustic torpedo. Don't think we've got that. Yeah, there's one that we want to do immediately. But we do want to get the next artillery one. So we'll do that. And when are you going to get there? The 26th, so a whole nother week. And they don't have a commander. And I think it's mainly our bombers that are swinging this in our favour. If we didn't have air support, I don't think we would win this. But on a 1v1, definitely, we're going to get what we need. And now we've got 2 divisions in. And then, yeah, you're moving quite nicely across there. And another 0.8 down. Yeah, it's only the convoys that are being slowed down for this, so there's no harm in that. Okay, and the victory is coming along all across the front now, so we are well and truly getting there. So you'll be there soon. Just won the battle there against them. Right, let's put the speed up a little bit, because I would love us to at least take Yuan out of the equation by the end of this episode. There we go, so there's Kunming. And then, yeah, we'll take you onwards like that. We've got some infantry tanks, etc. They're a little bit slower that slow this brigade down over here, but they make it quite quick to respond. And, yeah, we're going to send them that way. To the north. Okay. And those tanks are taking literally forever to arrive. And I'm going to actually do a little bit more across these techs at the moment, just to get our head start to continue, because yeah, I'm a little bit worried that, you know, we are just falling behind a little bit from a tech perspective. Let's increase our efforts, see if we can't get a positive outcome on that one. Okay, and that's when they're trying to fall back to, but we're actually closing this up, so chances are they won't be able to fall back anywhere, and then we'll wipe them off the map. Okay, the 13th army. And yeah, I don't want that. I don't need any more random cores and stuff. I'm just going to set it all up myself. And I kind of want to get the IC investment for spawned units modifier to fuck off as well. 20% reduction in IC is significant. Although, yeah, you know what? An extra infantry. Yes, okay. What? You're already pushing like that there, so yeah, I don't think I need to do autarky at the moment. I actually think we're pretty well organized. Okay, CAG crew, and then there goes Poland, exactly 1 month. And yeah, we'll let those CAG ones go. We're a little bit behind on some of those air techs, and we don't want to be. We want some very effective units if we can. Okay, so they quite literally have nowhere to go. Alright, central planning. Yep. We'll do the small caliber one there, and then you're already at the levels we need. Some air techs that we need to be progressing. It's just a case of how quickly can we progress over here. In fact, it looks very quickly seems to be the answer, because we're starting to lead with this guard division now. It's moving up nicely. Okay, so defense in depth, that's a Soviet one that's just finished. Let's get the twin engines going. In fact, we're going to want to prioritize some medium and kind of tactical and light bombers and things soon, because when we're out in the Pacific, naval bombers and things are going to be very helpful. Do that. Okay, happy days. Oh, and we forgot about you. Let's get all of you to move over to there. Like our militia forces. Right, attritional warfare at 40. Yeah, don't need to carry that. forwards. At least we're doing 1939 text in 1939. That is a step in the right direction. I know it's a very small step in the right direction, but it's a step in the right direction nonetheless. Speaking of which, yeah, TB class and motor torpedo boat class we want to do. Now that we've done the torpedoes. Okay, so there's a victory down there. And we've got the Veteran Army modifier, which is... that's really good, to be honest with you. Because that's going to give us land organization, officer recruitment, casualty trickleback, organizational regain rate. All of that is really good. So, happy days. We've done what we wanted on that front. And I think our units are broadly where we want them to be in their push for Zybizan Mart. So ground attack tactics, we want to keep that running. Yeah, all of that's fine. Okay, we're building up a little bit more on supplies. Okay, and they don't really have anything left at all. And when are you going to arrive? The 20th. So 4 days. Can you reach here in 4 days? No, 22nd. Well, that's okay. We'll just let it ride. Okay, and then there's our, I think, breaking of them. So you're saying the 22nd, but I actually think there's more likelihood it won't be that. Right, elastic defense, sure thing. Naval air targeting. Let's do motor torpedo boat. And whilst we don't have a huge amount of tanks, the tank training is going to be helpful. And you're going to be there apparently on the 20th on the 16th. Sorry, yes, at 2 o'clock, 8 o'clock on the 16th. So, happy days. We've taken you on. Tank crews, yep, 41, doing that already. And you. Let's do twin engine armament. Okay, and then there goes Dali. So we enforce Conquer on Yuan. And we'll give that territory, yeah, we'll give it to China Nianjing. Okay, good. Okay, so port strike tactics. And Division HQ, yeah, both of those we want to let ride. Okay, and you know what? It looks like we can take Golmond as well, so you know what? We will keep that going because I'm pretty sure we're on course to take both. So doesn't look like we've got any kind of issues on that score. So you know what? Let's let it ride. can do both in this episode, that would be lovely. So you'll get there on the 16th of November. You're the 13th, so a month. Anti-air ammunition, sure. Do heavy bomber prototype. Yeah, strategic bomber would be nice. Okay, and you're now saying the 15th, so 20 days. And yeah, you're in situ. So some of these have got 5 requirements. Some of them 4. So the pack one. So one of them that's got the 4 is missing the transport. So you're good. Oh, actually, you're not good. Ooh, oopsie daisy. Ah, fuck. Okay, let's ignore that one for now. So 5, yeah, that's a U1. So what you're doing, and then you like that. Happy days. You, all the surviving militia are getting a nice little bit of support. So you're like an anti-tank or anti-AA group. So you're like that. And the same thing with these guys. Okay, so maybe I overdid a single divisional headquarters. Oh well, but they're now filled out, so we're going to take them and we're going to move them north, and then we're going to use them to garrison up against the Soviets. So naval strike tactics, sure. Superior strength, tactical attack focus. Take that one off. And do twin engine transport plane. And then we'll move you like that. You can go like that. Right. Okay. Onwards. Rebels. Well, that's why these are here. We did fill this out on purpose to allow us to cope with any rebellions. Victory in Shanghai, I think, relatively soon. Special operations, sure. Twin engine fighter, also good. Okay, and yeah. It's all well and good having these uprisings, but unless you've got the balls to actually kind of fight properly, you're not going to get very far. And we're seeing this at the moment. So it's now the 11th, so we're speeding up now. Right, destroy escort roll. You know what? I'm going to let that run because there's some tech there and things that I want to be doing. And Yamashita's still a level 6. Okay, so Haraga's new designs, sure. We'll give a starting XP bonus, and for the private sector. And yeah, happy to form some more garrison units. So this is to further fill out the specialist infantry because we've got an absolute shed ton of them. And they're going to probably be my force that I'm going to use over here. And we'll probably keep the infantry and things for work against the Soviets. I mean, we're going to have an absolutely massive army. Oh, they've lost the Gunaiser now already. Oof. Okay, so the 12th still looking likely. Okay, so we've just been subjected to an embargo, which ain't so good, but we will get rid of a bit of dissent. We've won the battle at Shanghai. Got the battle here as well that's raging. In fact, we'll support attack there with these units in this part of the world too. Okay, and it's just Haikau at the moment that we're fighting in still. Probably because we don't have a commander down there. We do need to reorganize all of our commanders and things pretty soon. Okay, and you're now on for the 9th, so that's even quicker. Okay, so destroyer crew training. All of that I'm happy with. I do want some of the best destroyers because we're going to have no end of units that we need to try and defeat submarine-wise. So if we can have a very strong destroyer force, that would be very helpful. I think we've got the makings of that because we've upgraded a lot of the slightly older ones. And I think we can upgrade even more, to be honest with you. Okay, and then there's victory. So let's give them the territory. And then let's take all of them. And yeah, let's start moving on Zhejiang as well. Let's demobilize. And I think we will call it an episode here in just a moment. Because I think we've done a pretty good job, so let's just get the Turks. So yeah, definitely we'll do that trade with you. Thank you. So we've got neutrality back. We're doing half a production queue, but we need to switch back to full mobilization. But then I think we can call it an episode there. So thank you very much for watching, everyone. I'm quite liking the way in which the Empire is growing at the moment. We just need to take Xijing, or Zhejiang, however you pronounce that. And then I think we're in a pretty good place. So thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing the next episode of Hearts of Iron 3. Thanks again. Bye-bye.